What's up, Kappa? It's Coach Casey here. Today we're going to be doing some goalball. I'm going to be working on you guys with the basics of blocking. Now I'm sure you guys are all mad. You want to play games, but remember you need the basics so that you can play better in the game. So what we're going to be doing is the very beginners so you can get your blocking form. So I'm going to focus on your upper body, then we're going to focus on your lower body, then we're going to put it all together, make sure you're in proper form. Your parent or whoever's helping with you can help make sure you're doing exactly what I'm doing, but I'm going to help you through it. And then once we get that, we're going to do the starting position, and then we're going to work on diving one way or the other, okay? And then I'll give you some drills at the end that you and whoever you're working with at home can do. So let's get into it. Okay, so the position you want to be in is you want to lay down. So you can pick whichever side you want. So you can lay on your right hip or your left hip, whatever side you lay on. Coach Casey right now is laying on his right hip. So what you want to do is then stretch out as far as you can and straight. So you want your legs straight out behind you, straight forward, and your arms straight over your head so that you make one long line. So you're just straight and parallel to the ground. You don't want to be curved or folded in like a banana or something like that, okay guys? You just want to be straight out. So now we're going to start with the upper body, okay? So when we go with the upper body, so when you first dive out, what you want to do is, again, you're straight like this, and what you want to do is you're straight like a line. So you put your two arms out in front of you. Now, you need to tuck your head, your chin, behind your back shoulder. So if you're on your right hip, like Coach Casey is, your lower arm is going to be your right arm. So what I need you to do is tuck your chin behind your right shoulder. That way your face is protected. Now, of course, if you're on your left hip, your left shoulder is going to be the one down on the floor. Tuck your chin behind your left shoulder if you're on that side. Now, once that's done, keep your arm straight out. Your other arm, the top arm, so if you're on your right hip, your left arm should go in front of your face. So that way you have your chin tucked behind your shoulder and your arm out. So now both arms are out, and the only other thing you need to do is you don't want your arms to be together. You want a little bit of space in between your bottom arm and your top arm. That way if a ball's bouncing or rolling pretty fast, it can bounce off your top and come back down to the ground so it doesn't get by you, okay? So remember, when you dive out, arms straight out, chin behind your lower arm for your right hip, that's your right shoulder. If your left hip, left shoulder. Put your chin back there, top arm goes in front of your face, straight out, okay? Now we're gonna go on to lower body. So if you need to pause it here and make sure you get your upper body, I want you to make sure you and your parents or whoever you're working with has it down so that you can know these basics, okay? We're gonna go on to the lower half once you're ready. So you can pause it and come back. But anyway, let's do lower body now. Okay. So when you dive out, again, Coach Casey's on his right hip, but you can do either way. I'll explain. So when you're on your right hip, you want both legs straight out. So you're in your line, like we said, after you dive out. Now what I want you to do is you're going to be toes pointed forward. So the way your belly button is facing, that's going to be the court that just should be straight ahead, the court. So your toes need to be pointed out. That way if a ball hits you in your feet, it doesn't push them back. Because if they're straight forward, they're strong, they're pointed, they're flexed, the ball's going to hit it and stay with your body and you can gather. So your toes need to be pointed forward. And then what I want you to do is your legs need, just like we did with your arms, your legs need to have a little bit of space in between it. So if you're on your right hip like Coach Casey is, your right leg is going to be flat on the ground, again, toes pointed, and then your left leg is a couple inches in the air above your right foot, almost like a scissor. So your left leg is in the air. And again, if you're on your left hip, your left foot should be on the ground, and your right foot should be a couple inches, but you want a couple inches above each foot so that way it's not together. Because again, like your arms, if they're together, it's just going to hit you and roll right over and you're going to give up a goal. So you don't want to do that. So legs a little bit apart, toes pointed forward, okay? So that's your lower body. Now, we're going to put it all together. So if you're still on lower body, again, like we did earlier, pause it and come back when you're done. But I want you to make sure you have each part down before we put it all together. Okay, so now let's put it all together. So when you first dive out, you got your arms straight out, chin tucked behind. You got your arms with a little bit of inches, your top arm, for me it's my left because I'm on my right hip, in front of your face as well, a little bit of space in between them. Then you have your legs, like we just talked about, toes pointed, a little bit of space in between. Now the final step, and this is very important, is you need to lean a little bit forward. So what that means is keep your, whatever side you're on, so if you're on your right hip, keep that side of your body on the ground, or if you're on your left hip, keep your left side of your body on the ground. And I need you to lean your top half a little bit forward so that you make a slant. So you're slanted towards the front of you. So I want your top hand and your top leg to be almost a little bit in front of your bottom leg and your bottom hand. That way, you're tilted down. So if a ball hits you, instead of rolling up and over you, it'll hit you and come back down and you can gather it, okay? So, when it's all together, again, let's go through it real quick. You got your arms out, chin behind your bottom shoulder, top hand and arm above in front of your face, and a couple inches above your bottom hand, okay? Your legs, toes pointed forward, bottom leg against the ground, top leg a little bit above it, so there's some space, and then everything slanted a little bit forward, so you make a little bit of a slant so the ball can't roll up you, okay? So, now we've done everything for once you dive. Now we also, really quick, want to work on your starting position, okay? So, this is the starting position that we want you to be working with. Now, depending on which way you're going to jump, or dive out, I should say, is going to change how you stand. So, if you're diving onto your right hip, like Coach Casey was, you want to start with your right knee. You're in a kneeled position. Your right knee on the ground and your left foot up. So you're on one knee and your left foot is planted on the ground. So your left knee should be out in front of you, almost like a stand. Like you could rest your elbow on your knee. If you're a visual learner, Coach Casey right now has his elbow rested on his left knee, almost like you're propping your head up on your chin, okay? So you need your left leg out in front. Again, if you're diving on your left hip, your left knee should be down, your right foot is planted with your right knee out, okay? So whatever way your legs are going to kick, that's the foot you want up and planted. That way, when you dive, it's an easy kick out and push off, okay? So, Coach Casey, like I said, goes to my right hip, but you can practice both ways. So now what you want to do is, we're going to pretend like the ball's coming, and when we're done this, I'll give you a drill, and your parents can say, go, and that'll be your cue to dive out. And what you want to do is, I want you to, as quickly as you can, get into the form we talked about. So, if you're a visual learner, you can watch, but Coach Casey's going to try and all of you do it. I'm going to do a practice drill, okay? So what you do is, you're in your position, right? Okay? You're listening, go! You dive out, my arms are out, chin's tucked, legs are out, feet pointed forward, and I'm tilted forward, okay? Come back, and I'll even do it for the other side. So if you want to be on your left hip, left knee down, listen, go. Same thing, arms out, tilted forward, feet pointed, a little bit of space in between, head tucked, okay? So that's what I want you to do. Once you have that, you're gonna do that. And so what I want you to do with your parents is, after you've gone through, remember, I want the basics done first because I want you to know that form. The better you know that form, the easier it'll be for you to do it as muscle memory, okay? So I want you to first get all that down. Once you have that down, then I want you to work on your starting position. Once you feel comfortable with where you're starting, you and your parent or whoever you're working with can do a drill, okay? So like we just did with Coach Casey and you, your parent can say, go, and you dive out, okay? And then they'll inspect your form based on the video, and you should, if you followed all the basics, be good. Maybe they'll give you a little tweak so you can get it, and you can keep doing it until you feel comfortable. And if you even want, maybe you want to practice both sides because you want to play left wing and right wing. Try diving the other way like Coach Casey did. You could dive 5 times to your right, 5 times to your left, or if you like your right only, 10 times to your right, no times to your left. It's whatever you want to do, okay? And then, a little extra drill. This is only if you want to, at the end. Now, Coach Casey has a Goalball, but if you're like me, I don't own a Goalball with bells in it. So what I did is, if you can hear this, this is a basketball, and I wrapped a trash bag around it and then taped it. Now, you can do this with your parents if you want, like I said, if you don't have a Goalball. And that way, you want it to be tight, but still a little loose on the ball. So almost all the way against the ball, but a little loose. That way the ball still rolls and makes the sounds. And what you want to do, if you want, you can lay out in your form, and you can have your parents roll the ball at your arms and then at your legs. And that'll basically test your form, make sure you're solid. And then you can also work on when you get it, when the ball gets to you, what do we always say when we get the ball? Once you have knocked the ball down and gathered it, what do we say so that our teammates know? We say, got it. So I want you to work on your parents roll it maybe 5 times on your legs, 5 times on your hands, and then maybe 5 times into your tummy so you can knock it down, practice doing that, hear it, grab it, and then loud as you can, I got it, okay? So now that's the basics today, guys, so you can practice this as much as you want, but I hope you do each part, like I said, get those basics down. That way when you get to the game, which I know you all want to do, you're going to do great. All right, guys, Coach Casey signing out.